Hello, this is Lori Kornblum. I'm an attorney and a full-time instructor at Milwaukee Area Technical College. I'm also an adjunct professor at Marquette University Law School and Northeastern University Law School. I have made a series of best case tutorials. This one is entering personal property onto Schedule B of best case. For my other educational videos, see my channels at Lori Kornblum 8611 and at Lori Kornblum 2599. So let's go right into best case and we will continue from there. So we are back again. We are talking about Ben and Terry Hunter, who are joint debtors, and they have a bunch of property. So we are going to enter property into Schedules A and B property. So we've already entered their real estate into there. So now we're going to insert another kind of property, and we are going to enter a vehicle. So I don't know if you just saw that. I'm going to just say you click insert, and then you click on part 2 is vehicle, cars, trucks, and vans, etc. We're going to click on that. So they have in this problem a 2015. It's a Ford, and it's a F-150, not F-140, F-150. The year is 2015, and let's say the mileage is 150,000. So other information, we want to say that it's stored at the debtor's house, so we click on paste debtor address, and it says location. Okay, the owners are both of them, and in this case the current value of this is not very high. It's $4,900. Had a lot of hard use, and there is still a lien on it. So just like we entered a lien information about the house, we have to have there's going to be some liens on the F-150, but these are different kinds of liens. These are judicial liens. So we're going to click link to liens, next tab. This is the description, the next tab. So in this case, there's 2 judicial liens on this truck. So we're going to insert, it's the Capital, where is it? Capital County Sheriff, which I already have in my list. If you didn't, you would say new, but we're going to select the Capital County Sheriff. And again, I'm not putting in the address because this is fictional. And this lien was just created not too long ago, so we're going to say on 11/5/2024. And because this is already here, we're going to say it's a judgment lien from a lawsuit. Otherwise, we would click Other and check the pull-down list, and we could say judgment lien, okay? But it reverts you right back to that. And the claim amount on that is $2,000, okay? So we have $2,000 on a lien, and then we're going to do the means test on this. And we are going to put it over 60 months with an interest rate of 6.5%. And it will calculate the monthly payment. Does not include taxes and insurance because it's a judgment lien, and it's secured by Car 1. Then we're going to go to the next tab, Form 108 Intention. Our intention is going to be retaining it, and we are going to try to avoid the lien. And we are going to link the property to Schedule C. Next tab, we don't have any co-debtors. I'm going to say OK. And then after we do the liens, we have to click on exemptions, and we can click, and it will come up automatically with the state exemption for motor vehicles. So we're going to select that. So now when you look in your description, you have the current value minus the lien, so that gives you a net equity of $2,900. And since the exemption limit is $32,000, you can claim $2,900. So that is, we're going to just say OK. And we're going to say OK for that. So now we have that property. Now we're going to have another car that we have. And that is a Toyota. And this one is a RAV4. And the year is going to be, where's my Toyota RAV4? Uh, 2015. And this one hasn't got quite as much mileage. Let's say it's in pretty good shape, 89,000 miles. Okay. The current value of this RAV4 is $7,800. And this also is linked to a lien. So we're going to go to the next tab. We're going to go to the next tab. We're going to insert the lien on that. And that one is by Security Finance, which again, it's a debtor that I've used a lot, so I have that. And the nature of the lien is really an agreement you made, but we'll see if they have anything. It just is it's an agreement. Okay, it's a finance agreement, okay? All right, and the amount of the claim on this particular lien is $8,900. So they're underwater on that, right? But we're still going to do the means test. We're going to calculate the payment. So if we do this all here, then it's going to feed over into the means test. You have to just make sure your information is correct. Okay, does not include taxes and insurance, and is secured by car too. Okay, we're going to go to the next tab. We're going to try to cram down that lien, and we may enter into a reaffirmation agreement, or we're going to do we don't really have any choices. We're just going to say we're going to enter into reaffirmation right now. Okay, we don't have any co-debtors. We're just going to say okay. Oh, sorry. We want to okay, now we're going to go back to the exempt. We're going to say link it to Schedule C. Next tab. And then we're going to say okay. Oh, and then we're going to say okay again. So now we have two cars and we have the real property. Let's show what happens when you don't have any secured property. Let's say that we have household goods and furnishings, household items, just general household goods and furnishings. So did you notice what I did is I just clicked on household goods and furnishings. And we're going to paste the debtor's address. And then we are going to say that the current value of that is $4,000. And there's no liens on it, so we uncheck link to liens. But then we can go, so we don't have to put lien information, and we can go to the exemptions, consumer goods, household furnishings, and we can select that. And we can say, okay. Okay, now we can look at the exemption list, and it will show us what we are claiming as exempt. Okay, and it will put in all the information. Okay, the other thing we can look at is Schedule C. It shows the property that we are claiming as exempt, the Ford 150. You'll notice that the Toyota RAV4, we can't take an exemption on it because it is underwater. It doesn't have any equity in it. The creditors have secured claims. We have the Capital County Sheriff, Security Finance, and the Tri-City National Bank. So the other thing is if you scroll way down and we do a statement of current monthly income, which is the means test, if we look at this, we are going to check for an update on new tables available, because there are. But they don't have income at this point below the mean, so we don't have to worry about it. But if you were to get into that, the information would pre-fill onto there. So the updates will come later when we cover that. But right now what I want you to see is that we've had examples of property that is linked to liens, property that is not linked to liens. Of course, your clients probably have a whole lot more property than here. And the main thing is when you insert the property, you click Insert, and then you click Insert, and then it will give you a host of different things. Like, for example, cash. They have some cash on hand, not a whole lot, but some have the $800 cash on hand. And there's no liens, so you uncheck Link to Liens, and then you go to the next tab, there's no liens, and the exemptions. You might have an exemption here that might be a stimulus payment. Whatever you might want to fall under there, we'll just select that for now, assuming that that's honest and legal, and then we just say OK. But if you have bank accounts, we click on deposits of money, and this one we have some bank accounts at the First National Bank of Wisconsin. Okay, so we're just saying. And let's say they have a checking account, so we're going to click on these three things. We're just going to say it's a checking account, select it, and they have $3,000 there. There's no liens against it. We'll go to the next tab, the descriptions. The next tab is their liens and exemptions. It's a depository account. So we're just going to say OK to that, OK to that. And again, we have our A and B property all listed on the same screen. We're going to close this out. We're going to look at Schedule C and see what shows up on there. And notice, if you enter all this information on Schedules A and B, then you do not enter it again on Schedule C, because if you enter it again, you'll have duplicates. You can also have it on Schedule D, your secured property. And again, once you enter the information correctly on Schedules A and B, you do not need to re-enter it on Schedule D. It just automatically pre-fills. So that is the end of Schedules A and B, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we will continue in a little bit.